weekly space. Um, our topic of discussion is a very sensitive and important issue in our country, Nigeria. The Mango killings, the people's story. Let me go by saying this. Um, Let me go by saying this. The recent Mango killings in Plateau State are a painful reminder of the ongoing violence plaguing our communities. As we discuss this tragedy on this Twitter space, let's move beyond sharing grief and focus on actionable steps. We need accountability, unity, and a commitment to address the roots of these conflicts. Our collective voice can be a force for change, demanding justice, inspiring empathy, and fostering hope for a more harmonious Nigeria. Let's turn our discussions into actions that contribute to lasting peace and a brighter future. My name is Churchill, and I'm a journalist for West African Weekly. Welcome everyone. Like I said before, good evening. Our co-hosts we have. I would love them to introduce themselves personally to the audience. So I will start by saying, yeah, Shilong, please, can you have the floor? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shalom Gabriel, and it's a privilege to be here to discuss the happenings and find a way forward for our people. Thank you very much for having me, West Africa Weekly. I'm grateful. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Shilong. Alexa, go on, please, can you introduce yourself to the audience? If girlfriend is not here, please, local man, can you please introduce yourself? Thank you. Is local man here? Launa, are you here, please? Can anyone hear me? Shilong, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Since the two are not here, Joey Zibo, please, can you introduce yourself? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joey Shekunojimo. A journalist. I'm in Jos, Plateau State.
Okay, thank you so much, Joey. Thank you so much. We are live on YouTube. Just a reminder to everyone, if you can also connect on YouTube if you want to. Um, Girlfriend, are you here? Please, can you introduce yourself, please? Okay. Okay, we have someone here. Okay, yes, one of our co-speakers. Um, Black boy, please, can you introduce yourself to the audience? Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Good day, wherever you're listening from. My name is Victor, known as Black Boy Vic, and I am from Plateau State. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, and it's great to be here.
Okay. Yes. So, our discussion tonight is about the mango killings, and we will have everyone will have an opinion to say for 2 minutes. But for now, I would love Shilong to please give us like in-depth details into what's happening, and yeah.
Okay, Churchill, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone again. Good day, wherever you're from. You're streaming from. Uh it's really a painful one, having to relive those stories day after day and having to speak about those stories. Um these are very traumatizing events. These are very gory events. A lot of you bear me witness. I don't know how many fragile people are like me who have lost sleep over the past weeks, just from the sights of what has plagued the people of Plateau State and the Middle Belt in general. So, from my own angle of experience, it's a story that we're all very much conversant with. So I wouldn't dwell much in it, but I think prior to Christmas, in preparation to Christmas, there had been security alerts that there was going to be, some sorts of attacks in Boko's local governments, to be specific. And oh well, true to those security tips, yes, indeed, there was a spree of killings in different localities in Bokos. A huge number of people were murdered, some were burnt to ashes. A lot of people have been excommunicated from their communities. Their homes have been razed down by these Fulani jihadists. And it has been a repeat cycle in Mangu, in Barkin Ladi. Over the years, we've had same sorts of situations in Riyom. We've had those situations in, is it Jebubasa or Miango now? Yeah, we've had those situations in areas like that, and it has been the same cycle. You know, no real justice has been served to the people of Plateau State, to the people of the Middle Belt in regards to these killings. Personally, I lost my aunt during the December period. Her first son, who was shot. Her fourth son also, who was beheaded. I think his story was quite popular on the timeline. Ibrahim, and a lot of sad stories. And I've also had first-hand experience in visiting some of these areas that have been affected by the crisis. In Mangu, we have over 100,000 or more IDPs, and you can see how the cases are unfolding as the day goes by. We have a lot of kids who are out of school. We have a lot of kids who have been orphaned, a lot of husbands who have lost their wives, a lot of wives who have lost their, and then we have families that have been entirely um, murdered, like no survivor from those families. It gets that bad. Um, we have families who were burnt alive. Most recently in Mangu, we've had cases like that in other localities and all that. Um, Earlier, I'd mentioned in a couple of spaces. I think as of the last time we took a statistics, we had over 46 villages that had been razed totally to the ground. Like no structure is standing. In Mangu local government specifically, that have been destroyed. Out of 96 that were attacked, we had 46 of such villages that had been totally destroyed, and the people have lost their means of livelihood, which is basically farming. And even from our visits, you could see that these Fulani herdsmen were already moving their cattle into farms that would usually indulge in the dry season irrigation, practice. So it's been quite a sad event. And really, if you followed me up, I've always said, how then can we as a people really, really protect ourselves? Because it has been the same cycle. They come, they stage an attack, and then the military The military is always on the defensive of this terrorist. I've personally seen it play out personally. So this is not a story of them say no, 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 no. I've personally seen this. We've heard countless testimonies about the same act. A very similar case is what is happening in Mangu. Um, Recently, today, early as of today, I saw a picture of some locals, very, very funny. And it's so sad that the people who have sworn to protect us with their lives, if need be, would be the one to take, this kind of angle. But it's not really surprising for me, because it has been the same thing in play, and they were putting some AK-47s and paraded our local boys, probably some of the boys who were caught trying to, defend their families, defend their homes, defend their farmlands and all that, and then paraded those weapons in front of them. And then these people that these people that are terrorists, full-blown terrorists, they went and got sticks. There's this to play as kids, play baram, and then got some very used knives that cannot even cut a cow, and put in front of them, and then arraigned them as as suspects. So what they've tried to do invariably is to make Nigerians run sort of a comparison. Okay, now here are culprits before you. Decide who you think is deadly, and that has been the case. We've also had cases of people have said, oh, stand up and defend yourself. I agree, really, really, I agree. But the case of Plateau is very, very peculiar, in the sense that the people are really handicapped. Countless times local vigilantes have been set up, aside the government outfit, which was operational years back, and I think it's trying to be revolved. The Operation Rainbow, if I'm correct, used to exist, and there was some sort of control that was enforced by those people. But regardless, communities have come together and say, okay, we need to set up our own vigilante. We need to protect ourselves. We need to defend ourselves. It's these same weapons that we've equipped these people and say, okay, I must stand up and defend your land. Oh. We cannot continue running away. And it's these same weapons that the so-called security forces have come, ransacked their homes, and have confiscated. So my question now is, if you're saying I should defend myself and the military will now come and collect these weapons, should I now run to the bush and go and hide my weapon? When these people now come to attack, do I now start running towards the bush to go and get the weapon? What time do I really have to make a stand for my life in this case? So I see the situation as one where the people on all sides are pressed. Even the governor on his own end is pressed. I can see it's given the nature of things, it's very hard to see that, okay, these are the efforts that the governments are trying to make. But I've lived this same cycle of story from the time of Jonah Jang. I've lived this same cycle of story, same storyline, where the governors are left handicapped and really cannot do much. So I would want to believe that arming the Operation Rainbow is really the next step that is, coming up the way. But this has been the story. This has been the story. These Fulani people come and they speak their language. The language is not hidden. And again, it's very important to note that the Plateau people do not have any grudge against the Muslims. No, we have families who are Muslims. Personally, in my family, I have members of my family who are Muslims. So it is a very wrong ideology to say that no, we're tagging this thing as a Christian versus Muslim war. Yes, there's the religious angle to it. That is just the sincere truth. No matter how sentimental or how well calculated we try to sound, you understand? But I have family who are Muslims. My problem is with the Muslims who defend these terrorists, because every criminal has a religion. Every criminal has a religion. If you're accusing Chinaza Philip, he bears the name Philip, the next thought would be that he's a Christian. Does it make the entire race Christian race criminals? No, it doesn't.
But if the entire Christian race decides to defend those acts of criminality, then I have a problem with your religion. And it's that basic. I'm saying, look, these people are killing us. These people are waging a war. These people come in the night and are shouting Allahu Akbar. The videos are there. It is all over the TL. This is not capping. This is not stories. And I'm saying, okay, come, let's put heads together and see how we can deal with this form of criminality. After they are done with the Mangu people, after they are done with the Middle Belt, they would still go for you. They will still go for you. In the quest of blood, it's never really satisfying. And that is why they keep rearing their ugly heads in forms of different organizations. So I just wanted to clear the air also in regards to that. We have members of our families who are Muslims, and I think Victor is also from my locality. He can testify to that, particularly for Mangu. And you can see that even these people who, particularly for the video of the boy who was beheaded, these are people, locals, as in, not locals, sorry, these are visitors that have stayed on that land for a very long period of time. They knew this boy. They asked him, where is your brother? This boy begged for mercy. And Dama kashe kazamuyi, Arni, on my own land, you call me an infidel. No. Something is systematically wrong somewhere. And before you come and say, okay, come and defend yourself. Defend yourself how? When all the systems, left, right, and center, everything has been designed to work against the Plateau people. So at this point, I'm just at the verge of, really what needs to happen is for the security forces to leave and let our people handle their business. So really, that's been the situation to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, we feel your pain. We feel your pain, Shalom. We feel your pain. Thank you so much for this insights. Thank you so much. It's not easy. Right from Christmas period, right from Christmas period, this has been happening, and it's really tough. Like screwing through once you just put in the word, the state platinum on your Google, your search, you just see killings over this. Like it's just so alarming. All these are happening, and the silence from the government agencies is just too bad, and it's really really sad. Girlfriend is here, so please can girlfriend, please, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kangma Gofwen. I'm a journalist with West Africa Weekly. My network was behaving thanks to Nigeria, but we're here now. Thank you all for joining us on the space. I am co-hosting alongside Churchill, West Africa Weekly. This is a very, very sensitive issue that is not just close to home, but it is home for me. Because if I should tell you that I want to go home tomorrow, I am referring to Mangu. And it is so sad that when I say I want to go home, the first thing you ask me is it safe? Where else can I be safe apart from home? If I am not safe in my house, where else can I be safe? Mangu, I grew up in Mangu, and as I speak, my parents are in Mangu. And I tell you that you have no idea how intense the nights get to be. Because 1,001 things are running in my head. Okay, if they come, if these attackers come, would they run through the back door? If they run through the back door, if they come through the back door, or if they go through the front door, how would they run? Should they climb the ceiling? What if they burn the house? And I can't just wait for daybreak so I can call them to find out if they made it to the next day. This is a very, very horrifying and heartbreaking situation for anyone to be in. And it is worth noting to mention that The crisis on the plateau right from 2001 till today has been as intense as it was 24th December last year. Any attack has been as intense as that one. It is as intense as the one in Mangu. So no attack is small or no attack is big. And you know, the annoying thing is the narrative that even the military put out, even the military would put out, would stand in front of my camera with microphones and say that the crisis is because of cattle rustling. And an entire community is wiped out, and you say it's because of cattle. Like, what is the worth of the life of a Nigerian? And how, even I'm not I don't own cattle, but 10,000 cows to one life. I mean, you cannot quantify it. So even if you want to say that they rustled cattle, it is a group of people that rustled those cattle. Why then, if that is the narrative you want to push out, why are you coming after an entire community? So you mean all of us gather to rustle your cattle? And the military would boldly stand and say that this is why these attacks are happening. Come on, this is an insult to our intelligence, to everything. It is an insult that they would come and stand and say that on national TV. Like I said, this is a very, very sensitive issue. Because this is a very important space, it is recorded, and whatever you say, you would be responsible for it. And I want to plead that when you take the mic and you want to speak, please imagine yourself in the shoes of victims, survivors, and speak truth to government. I don't know. I just don't know. But be empathic in your comments. And if your comments are inciting, we are sorry, would have to take you down, because we are not promoting violence here. This is just to come and say our stories and have the right narrative out there, so that the international community, because this is to promote a narrative to outside and make them paint a narrative anyways. But please, again, I want to plead to your conscience that you speak rightly on the space. And most importantly, one thing before I go off the mic, if you think that this crisis or these violent killings, I hate to call it crisis because it is not a crisis, these violent killings, if you think that you sit in your house in the east or in the south or anywhere and say it is happening just in the north or in the middle belt, let me tell you, when I was growing up, if you ever tell me that something like this would be going on the plateau, I would bet you with my entire life that it is not going to happen. Never. I remember where my life looks like it's more of some crisis kind of thing, because my parents left Zaria during the 1991 crisis. I was a little child then, and I was told the story. My parents escaped by the whiskers through the window. Thankfully, they were lucky they survived because I did not cry, because I was the youngest among them, and we escaped through the window. And this crisis have moved. They kept moving and moving and moving and moving. By the time they are done with us, they would come for you next. So if we do not stand up right now with one voice as Nigerians and as human beings, first of all, to address these issues, then I tell you that that comfortable house that you stay in, that place you call home comfortably, will be taken away from you. So right now we are more of, sorry to use the word, scapegoats. It is now that we need to come together to fight this together as Nigerians and as human beings. We never knew that the Owo attack would happen. We never knew that Igbarapa would come. These are places in the north, in the south. There are places in the east that are beginning to. So we never, friends, please, let's discuss this tonight as if it is happening in your house right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kofwen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like she said, once you're on this space, you are responsible for anything you say. We're not here to cause any chaos. We're just here to speak our minds. And when I mean speak your mind, I mean say the truth. Killings are happening. The killings are becoming so chaotic that we can't keep count of it anymore. Plateau is like the bedrock, one of the bedrocks of Nigeria, in production of food and so many other things. So, and we are all one. This is home. Nigeria is home. So keep aside every controversial attitude you have, any side talks, anything. Just come fully here and speak, and you'll be granted 2 minutes to speak. Because obviously, I would love everyone to speak, but you will granted 2 minutes to speak. So that's it. So our next speaker is Victor. Please, Victor, you have the floor. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hi. Can I go on?
Sure, sure, sure.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can.
Oh, I can't hear anyone.
Can you can you hear me? Girlfriend, can you hear me?
Vic,
I can hear
Vic,
you. I can hear
Victor,
you,
we can
Victor.
hear you.
We can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, I can hear you. All right. So all right. So just to pick some points from what Joy and Shilong have said, I want to come from the angle of narrative. So it's in our own very eyes on this Twitter that attacks, systematic attacks, have turned to they called it clash, they called it crisis, they called it like they're giving it everything. They're calling every other thing aside what it is. It's in our own. That's why when I see people trying to like come and like say, "Oh no, it's not a clash," I understand the pain because you are seeing an attack, but you come online, someone else will tell you it's a clash. Someone else will bring pictures from Google from somewhere and post and say, "Oh no, Christians went to burn mosques. Oh no, Christians attacked." Like when you can clearly see a lie. So these things are planned. These things are systematic. These things are organized. It's like a group of people come together. Oh no, let's go and change the narrative, and it's happening. It's happening in our own very eyes. Like we're seeing it on Twitter. It's everywhere where these narratives are trying to are changing before our own very eyes. It's on this same platform that someone came to say, "Oh no, it's the whole killing that's happening is sin, because of sin, or because of cattles, or like." My point is, when we give people the chance, if we don't tell our own story by ourselves, any other person from anywhere can come and say it. And the way the world works now is, if 10 people are saying one thing, oh, the internet is going to believe it. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, we need to let's not get tired of always countering these people. Let's not get tired of always putting these people right and showing this proof. Because if we get tired and then we're not coming out to say, oh no, it is not about sin. Oh no, it's not about cattle. It's about annihilation. These people are trying to clear. These people are trying to clear a whole. These people are trying to clear a whole village because they have an agenda. It is not because of sin. It is not because of there's a whole agenda to this thing. So I think we need to come together, especially because the truth is, I'm sure everybody here has noticed that nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's doing anything. How many Twitter influencers tweet about this thing? You can count. How many celebrities talk about this thing? You can count. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's saying anything. A lot of people that are in the West, they won't understand. Like people that are still calling us Northerners, people that are still saying we're in the North, people that are still calling us Hausa, they don't even understand what's happening. They think it's just Hausa people that are fighting themselves. They think it's just us doing having our own. I mean, the first time I went to the West, when I told people I was Christian, I saw how they reacted. Up to now in Lagos, people still call me Hausa, Hausa, Hausa. It's because they don't know. So let me just be straight and honest. It's almost as if people don't care because you are saying, "Oh no, we got killed," and what somebody is saying is, "You need to stand up and defend yourself." Oh, do you think we didn't know that we're supposed to be defending ourselves since? Do you think it's as easy as to say it? You're not here. You don't understand what people are going through here. You just sit online and tweet and tell people, "Oh no, it's good for you. Start defending yourselves." Is it that easy? It's not, because obviously people have tried to defend themselves and see what happened to them. They get arrested, just like Shillong said. They get arrested, they get framed, bringing weapons that are not theirs to say this is. So it's like nothing is actually working in our favor right now. It's hard for us all round. It's very difficult to defend yourself. Is a problem. You're on your own. You get attacked. So we need to intentionally actually work on the narrative. We need to actually Twitter. Thank God for Twitter that if someone comes and say A, you can actually come and say B with your proof. So my point is, let's not get tired of always countering these people. Let's not get tired of always pushing and saying the right narrative. Let's not get tired of always putting the truth out there. Because again, once again, these blogs, the big blogs in Nigeria, I mean, well, if 10 people get killed, they come and tweet, oh, 10 people got killed in just that's all. Then they go ahead to post what they normally post. Celebrities, they can do one or two tweets. That's all. But like we need more. We need the whole world to hear us. We need to do more. Basically, we need to use what we have to keep pushing this thing. You see how the whole um Israel and Palestine thing. You see how social media was all out about it. Like we need that kind of buzz. And if we don't actually do it, nobody's going to do it for us. So I'm just trying to urge us that as Plateau people, we only have ourselves. Let's try as much as we can to actually make sure that we are correcting narrative, we are controlling this narrative. Because once this narrative is controlled, then it's going to be hard for us. I know the media and everything is working very hard against us, just like Shilong said about the whole picture framing thing. Like you can clearly see that it's A, but they'll come and tell you it's B. Also, like personally, I feel like I've not tweeted anything about the Mango killing because it's like okay, it's like one of my Bokos tweets. I could literally just carry that tweet, post it, just edit the Bokos and write Mango. It's like these things are tomorrow it could be anywhere. So you get at some point you just get very when is this thing going to end? At what point do we actually have to sleep with our eyes closed and not think of somebody coming to kill us in our sleeps? Like when is this thing actually going to end? It's very difficult. It's very tiring. It's like I don't know. But again, once more, I'm just trying to urge us and tell us that oh no, we should not give up. We should always try to. The most we can do right now online is to talk, and let's not stop talking about it. Let's keep using the hashtag. Let's keep pushing out this narrative. And talking about defending ourselves, let me add on what Shilong said. I think, honestly speaking, people have been saying it, but I think it's time we do that. If not, at some point, we're going to be nowhere on this state. We're going to be out. We're going to be annihilated. We have to. We do it or we die trying. Like I think I've gotten to that point because it's coming. I'm not from Mango. I'm from Panshin, but today is Mango. Tomorrow it can be Panshin. So if Mango is out, Panshin is out. Like they will come to Jos. Like that's how it works. It's gradual. It's gradual. So I honestly think that we actually need to start finding practical ways to defend ourselves. And me, personally, I think whatever it takes, it is our home. We don't have any other home, just like Joy said. I don't have any other place to go to. I don't have any other place. This is my only home. So we need to actually start thinking of practical ways to end this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much. Like you said, yeah, home is, yeah, we are. This is our home, so we have to defend it with all we have. And thankful for Twitter. Like, to be honest, Twitter is like the one of like the biggest platforms that makes our voice heard. Like they hear our voice with Twitter. Yeah. So I guess that with hosting this space, I just pray that once people hear our opinions and they process it, and when people speak, they understand the pain and the crisis happening in Nigeria. Our next speaker is the young uncle. Yes, Ninikian Disha. Please, you have the floor. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes, we can
Yes.
hear you.
All right. For correction, the name is Nenkinandishi, and I like what Victor said, and I like what Joy said. This is not a Mango issue. It's not a Bokos issue. It's not a Burkina issue. It's not a Plateau issue. This is a Nigeria issue, and the better, the earlier we begin to see it as a Nigeria issue, the better for us. We just live in the age of political correctness, and nobody wants to call this thing what it is. But we all know what it is. This is not random attacks being carried out by lay people. These are coordinated attacks. 2 weeks ago and last week, I personally toured 24 communities in Bokos that had been ransacked and burnt down. I was there with a camera taking pictures and taking videos. Some of the communities were absolutely empty. All you could see there was burnt houses, chickens, and dogs. And I don't know why the dogs have eaten the chickens. In a few communities, you met a few people who are standing there to defend it. And the story is the same with all the people I interviewed. What happened on 24th of December happened on the same day at the same time. Based on my rough estimation, the army that carried out that carnage cannot be less than 3,000 in number. This was not random. This was planned. What is happening in Mangu is planned. And as we are speaking on this note, there is another plan, and the plan is going to succeed. It's just unfortunate. So we need to stop looking at this as an isolated issue and look at the picture as a big issue, as the big picture. I work with victims of terrorism, and the truth is, the victims are going through a lot. I made a tweet 2 days ago, which I believe almost all of you saw, about a reverend who lost his wife and 4 daughters in Bokos. I sat front to front with this man, and honestly, it's just disheartening. These people are they are going through a lot. Now, I also happen to work with children in Jibu Miango, which was also attacked in 2021. And after the attacks in 2021 until today, I take you to Jibu Miango and I pick 5 children and sample them and I ask them what their future ambition is. They'll tell you soldier. And when I ask them why, their answer is Nkeshu Fulani. Now, this is the implication of what is happening. A generational trauma is being generated. Hatred is being born in the hearts of what is happening. I beg you, speak to the terrorists and tell them to stop, because there's something they say in Hausa, when the cartoon are that what they are sowing, they are going to reap. If we happen to have a generation that grows up with hatred for one group, then the chances of them being annihilated is very high. The chances are very high, because this is not trauma that can be unlearned. This is something that peace needs to return and the minds of children need to go back to normal. Now, on the topic of self-defense, my stance has always been that we must call government to do their work. Yes, they are lax, but we must call them to do their work, because I've been on the field, and based on what I've seen, we cannot defend ourselves. You cannot you cannot be holding a gun that you have to reload, and somebody's coming to you with a sophisticated machine gun that fires 10 bullets in 1 second. Ekesheka, it will finish you on the spot. So we cannot go down that path. But we must call these people to do their work. there's a rate to which we will call them that even them, they will have to answer and answer their duty. When people say, okay, it's inferior arms, let's arm people. The question I ask is, when I arm people to finish, when I arm people to defend themselves, when the war is over, what happens to the arms? The Holy Bible said the heart of man is desperately wicked. Those arms will turn into opportunities for criminality. And apart from terrorism, we're dealing with small, small pockets of cultism already in Jos. Imagine those people get real arms. It's going to be crazy. So I just believe we must call on government, and hopefully, an end will come to this. So to my brothers in the South, I plead with you, speak out. Don't ignore us. Speak out. This is our story. This is the story of all of us. This thing needs to stop because Nigeria needs to be great and our children need to have a country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, we would love to hear from the audience.
Before,
Like I said, okay. Go for it. Go on. Go on. Sorry.
okay, no, you can finish what you were saying before I go on.
Okay. We would love to hear from our audience. Like Kofi and I said, you're responsible for everything you say here, and we want everyone to speak their minds. This is this is a very sensitive topic, and the discussion here is priority. It's not priority just because it's priority. It's priority because this is Nigeria. These killings are happening in Nigeria. You can't just say, "Oh, because it's far from you, you can't feel it." Oh, because you're still going to work, you're still doing your business, you're still moving around. You can't just say that because this is still your home. It might happen to you. Before you might think, oh, I'm far away. The next day you're saying, you're hearing shouts, you're hearing killings, or you're hearing gun battles. It's coming close to you. So the more you far away from it, you won't think that, oh, it might not come, but it might. So this is Nigeria. So please speak out. This discussion is something that of interest to everyone in Nigeria. So please, you have 2 minutes to speak, and I'll once you request, just request for the mic. I'll put you through, then you speak. Thank you. Go for it. You can go on.
Okay, I see middle belt Jehan. Sorry, you would speak just now. I just wanted to bring also the issue of communities, empty communities. Nenkinan mentioned. There are communities from previous attacks in Riyom local government, Barkin Ladi local government, that have been totally taken over. Now, we don't mean that nobody is in the community. They have totally been taken over by these Fulani jihadists. They are now staying, that is their community. They have even gone as far as changing one of the names. I don't recall the former name, but the new name of one of the communities they took over and renamed is Mahanga. It is from that community that they prepare for almost most of the attacks they carry out within Barkin Ladi, Bokos, Riyom, and some parts of Mangu. And it is interesting that the military are aware, or general, let me use the word security. The security agencies are aware of that community. And they'll tell you sometimes, according to reports, they would say they cannot enter that community. Everybody knows that community is a no-go area. You don't go into that community again. Now, for emphasis, the original owners of that community, the indigenous people of that community, have been sent away, and the Fulani people, jihadists, have fully taken over the community as far as middle belt. You can go on, please. You have the floor.
All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're listening to me from. Well, the issue of this of these killings, of these endless killings, is just so annoying, so heart wrenching. What's going on? And I was in a space earlier, and this space had people from all over Africa, and they were complaining about pretty much the same thing. And the problem seems to stem from the fact that we have a government infiltrated by non-patriotic elements, and what they do is totally against the interests of the common man. That's what's going on in the Middle Belt. I'm from the Middle Belt. I lived in Jos for about 14 or 15 years of my life. I've escaped. I thought I think I remember I spoke with Shillong some time ago in one of her posts how I escaped death quite a couple of times in Jos from these guys as well and everything. How I escaped bomb blast, how I escaped getting lynched and the rest of them from the same guys and stuff. So these things it's just really like a football match. And before you go into this football match, they're leading you 5-0 already. In order for you to win, you need to equalize this game by 5-0, then begin to add more goals to it. Like this plan has been on ground for more than hundreds of years. It's been there already. These guys are working with a template. So wherever it is, we need to know where they're coming from. These guys have planned this thing right from the time of Uthman Danfodio down to Ahmadu Bello, all the way down, and they want to take over Nigeria because in their mentality, they are born to rule. They cannot sit under the servitude. They cannot see themselves as a subservient to infidels. That's what they call us. That's what they call we Middle Belt and Christians and the rest of them, and even Northern Christians, because you have a lot of Christians in the Northwest and the Northeast East as well. They don't see themselves under the leadership of infidels. So what they do is they try as much as they can to at cleansing all different ethnicities we have in the North, in the Middle Belt as well, so they can take over our lands. So we need to identify that fact and state it as a matter of fact what's going on, because I can see a lot of people on X, these guys are just saying rubbish about we being intolerant and everything. I've never seen a Christian go to a community that is Muslim dominated and is calling the people infidels or trying to kill the people to take over the land. It doesn't happen that way with Christians. Wherever we go, we try to respect our host. We don't kill them. We don't say anything bad against them. But it's not that way with them. Wherever they are, they want to dominate. They don't see themselves as people to be under the leadership of the so-called infidels. And the excuse that the army gave about cattle rustling, I want to say this as a matter of fact. That it doesn't really matter where I am, whether I'm in Amsterdam, UK, London, or anywhere. I'm always getting info about what's happening. So, like, I think in Jos, I hear it's about 8 or 9 degrees cold in Jos, and that's very cold by the Nigerian standard of it. And my friends in Mangu are outside. They don't sleep in their houses at night. That's how bad this is. They're outside protecting their land against these invaders. And they're saying nonsense about cattle rustling. I'll tell you something about cattle rustling. No ordinary citizen can go about rustling cattle. You have to be a herder to do that. Only herders can rustle cattle. Nobody has that expertise to rustle cattle. So all this lie that the army is saying that is because of this or it's because of that, it's a lie. Wherever these guys are, they're always looking for trouble. They're very troublesome people. They never see themselves as people who want to live under the leadership of the so-called infidels, as they refer to us as. Imagine, these guys leave their lands, they come to our lands and begin to call us infidels. Because it's just really very painful what's going on in the Middle Belt. And now is the time. We don't need a division right now. What we need is unity. We need the Tarok man to hold the hand of the Biro man and the Magavu man and say, our interest is in protecting Plateau and by extension Nasarawa and Benue and the rest of the other surrounding states. The Tarok man shouldn't say that, oh, this is a Biron problem, or this is a Miango problem, or this is a Rukuba problem, so let me just hands off. No, or this is a Bokos problem. Let's come together, let's share intel. Because the way these guys move, you can definitely tell, because they move in numbers, you can tell where these guys are going. They pass through one community to the other. So let's talk other facts. Yes? Okay. So like I'm saying, we need to share intel within ourselves, within communities, because they move from one community to the other community. That way, we can prepare for them. Because whenever they're around already, whenever they're on ground and trying to respond to them, it's going to be calamitous. What these guys are going to do is going to be too late for us to respond to that. So let us share intel in real time about what's happening to our security and network within the Middle Belt, and also the propaganda that these guys are pushing forward. We should try as much as we can. I'm doing my best to counter them as they come. So thank you very much. I would yield the mic now.
Thank you so much, Midveld man. Thank you so much. We hear your story. We hear your story. So like I said, if you want to speak, please request for the mic. Um, okay, we just added a speaker to our list. We have Bolanle here. Please, Bolanle, you have the floor. Please, thank you.
Gosh, yeah, good evening from my side. I've literally just walked into my house, right, and I'm listening along. I want to commend those of you who are spending time on social media countering all the propaganda, you know, telling your own stories, because when you let other people tell them, it's not what's actually happening. Um, I mean, my heart goes every time I hear another story, and you put a name to the victim and their families and everything else. It's for me, looking from the outside in. I'm like, for people, the people who are doing this, there's no humanity in them whatsoever. And there's a reason why we insist that they are called by their name, and their name, they are terrorists, right? No matter what, all the fake stories that have been put out there, you know um or trying to soften, the cause, or soften the name, right, so that to the outside world it doesn't seem as bad as it is, right? And I know somebody was speaking earlier on who was talking about it not being, these are not pockets of terrorism. This speaks to a wider agenda that is being played out in the Middle Belt, right? Anybody that says anything else, right, is, a propagandist, is a terrorist sympathizer, and what have you. Because, my take has always been, I know for a lot of people who haven't joined us in crying out, right? It is easy to say it's not my people, it's not my part of the country, so why do I have to care about it? And as a Yoruba woman from the Southwest, um, I have to let people understand that, it is them today, it could very well be you tomorrow. And whilst the news is being suppressed by the traditional media, you know, it is closer than people think. Right. There is an agenda. And the reason why that agenda exists, first and foremost, is the size of the population in Nigeria. Um, you know, it's when it comes to in Africa, it's the biggest black nation. And then it's in terms of, you have, when you're talking about Christianity itself, it's significant, the numbers of Christians that actually, I mean, forget what people try and say about it being 50-50, but that's not true. But that's a conversation for another day, right? And when you think about what they are trying to achieve, right, you would then understand why they are taking the approach they're taking, right? And I always have to refer back to what Baroness Cox, or House of Lords here in the UK, often in her one of her reports, and there's been several, right? And what she wrote there when she talked about the Fulani herdsmen. She called it Fani Hersman first, right? And in her in what she wrote, she said, historically, they've always sort of been a pain in the butt. This is me paraphrasing. She didn't say pain in the butt. She, in the sense that, they willfully destroy farmland, crop farmers have worked hard, very close to harvesting, and they'd go there, act as if, this entitlement mentality exists where they would destroy it, and therefore there has always been skirmishes because of it. However, she said, there has been a sinister turn because now they are killing people and the survivors are displaced off the land and they move in. And she said that speaks to a more sinister strategy being deployed. Right? So this is a white woman who, says she's a Christian, does a lot of work towards dealing with religious freedoms and all the rest of it, right? If she's saying that after doing her own research and the people on the land are telling you who is killing them, and then you come on social media, right, and you come and try and change the narrative, right? Here's the thing, there's more of us than there are of them, and we have been very effective at checkmating, and I have to thank all of you who have been doing that. Right. In fact, I got to a point where I was like throwing decorum to the wind. I was literally going out spaces of fighting because it was annoying me. Right. A genocide is going on in the Middle Belt. Right. They don't want the word genocide to be used. They don't want the word jihadist to be used. They don't want the word Fulani to be used. Right. But they want us to say it's farmer herders clashes, it's as a result of climate change, blah, 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 blah. Right. No. Right. We are not accepting that anymore. And wherever there is a conversation about what's going on in the Middle Belt, we all need to take that on ourselves as a responsibility to speak truth to power. Right? There's not always going to be a Shillong or Zari or any of the others or Stephen Kefa's on a space, right? But if you are a true sayer and people come up and say that and try and soften it, they cannot, it's almost as if you're re-traumatizing the victims, right? You've already killed their family members, and then you're telling them that what they had heard firsthand is not right. It is not this, or they tell you, we're trying to cause divisions, blah 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 blah. So what, killing people is not causing divisions? Because I'm not understanding that, right? And I've decided that I will be as controversial as I can get away with being. I will use the language. I'm not going to be politically correct, because if I am politically correct, I am disrespecting those who are victims. I am disrespecting those that have gone, those that have been killed, and I will not do that. Like, call it what it is. It is clearly, without an iota of doubt, it is clearly a strategy in which there's a full jihad going on in the Middle Belt, and the foot soldiers are the Fulani militias, whether they like it or not, whether they're herdsmen. I've said it to people, whether they call them herdsmen, whether they call them bandits, whether they call them kidnappers, all join. They're all Fulani jihadists. Right? We would say it like it
Okay.
is. So I'm sorry,
Thank
I
you.
could go on a bit. Don't mind me. Anyway, but while I'm
Round
up
up,
here,
round up, please.
yes, while I'm up here, tomorrow in the UK, we're having a protest at Abuja House from 12 noon. If you have relatives here in the UK or you live in the UK and you have a couple of hours to spare, please join us. We need to stand up for each other, and the voices of the victims in the Middle Belt need to be heard. And if we can get it to the world stage, join us and help us do that. Thank you, I yield.
Thank you, Bonale. Thank you, Bonale. Girlfriend, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay.
She was breaking at some point.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Even mine. Okay, we heard you. So, like I said, you have 2 minutes to speak. Istana, you are next on my list. You have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I would have loved to taking a longer time, but I want to pick up my son from school, so I'm gonna cut it short. The point here is this is a real genocide. It's a real genocide. It's being organized by Fulani politicians. Let's just call a spade a spade. This is a ploy to change Nigerian demography. This is a ploy to take over Middle Belt completely by Fulanis. We in the Southeast have suffered this right from 1967 till date. But let me just be honest. There is no way out except self-determination. The United Nations is going to be silent. Call it whatever institution, they are going to be silent. This is what the Southeasterners has been suffering since after the war. The only way out here is for the Middle Belters to stand up and fight for their life. There is no way out. This is being coordinated by the politicians in power, by the Fulani politicians in power. You know, they want to change Nigerian demography. They want to take over the whole of Middle Belt, and nobody is coming to your help, except if you rise up and fight your way through. That is the only way out. There is no other way. There is no United Nations. No country is coming to your aid. IPOB has done all the protests in the world. Where is it in the world that IPOB has not done protest? Is it White House? Is it what is the other one in UK? I don't know. Is it what? I don't know. I don't care what it is. Is it United Nations? Nobody is coming to your aid. So the only way out is to fight your way out. And to conclude, your politicians are not going to help because the worst enemies of the eastern states are the eastern politicians. They are the worst enemy. For the fact that they want to remain in power, they want to get access to power, they would close their mouth, they will remain silent. That is the reason why we love Nnamdi Kanu. And that is the reason why we love IPOB. And that is the reason why we even love Simon Ekpa the more right now. These are the only saviors. And I would say, you
Not
guys,
Samuel Ekpa, please. Not Samuel Ekpa, please. Please.
okay, no matter what you think, because you may think he is a secessionist, but you don't know what the Southeasterners has suffered over
No,
the
we're not
years.
kicking
That's why
against
you say,
secessionists,
Please,
but we don't. But
can
we're
we
no,
not
can
calling
we
on
stay
people.
can we stay
but
on
the
the
point,
topic?
Let,
Can
allow
we
me to
stay on
conclude.
the
on,
Allow
let's
me to
topic?
conclude.
stay on the
But
topic.
the point
I'm
I am
sorry. I'm
making,
sorry.
the point I am making.
Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, I can
Come on.
hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you.
So, please, please, and please. We have limited time here, and also I want everyone to speak. Everyone have a chance to speak, but please stay on topic, please, please, please.
And again, I saw some comments, people requesting the mic. Please, if you need the mic, request for the mic and we will bring you up to speak. Please. Chachi, who is going next? Tommy, I see your hands up. Are you ready to speak?
Yeah, Tommy will go next, please. Tommy will go next.
Tommy D, are you ready to speak?
I thought the other man wanted to complete his submission. Can
I
I go now?
Please, you
Yes, please
can
go,
go on.
go on, please.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. Good. Okay, it's afternoon here. Good afternoon. I'm speaking from North America. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I just want to come on space and say that our hearts are with people in the middle belt. And I learned something today, and I was really touched when somebody said it's not a middle belt thing, it's a Nigerian thing. And I think we need to
The boss, but I think
re-emphasize
the
on
parking
that.
space is enough. Maybe they can park somewhere there.
Hel-
Yes, they need the other
Hello?
space for themselves.
Hello?
We can
Yeah,
hear
Somebody's mic
you.
is on.
Whose mic is on?
I
Bolanle
just,
is
I just, it was Daniel's mic that was on. I just muted it now.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay. So I think that's a thing. We need to emphasize on. We need to let. I think we need to find a way to let people know that it's a Nigerian thing. Now it's scary because somebody said, I can't remember the speaker that said this, that from Mangu and all these places, all these local governments, before you know it will come to Jos. And I was on a space yesterday, and they're talking about Islamic, the Western space actually, in a pagan space. They're talking about this Islamist extremism, and I got to understand something that somebody said, and you now wonder why when these people are killing, they yell Allahu Akbar, and you're killing people. Then somebody read one part of the Quran, kill the Christians, kill the Jews. So and I tried to link it with what is going on in Jos. Christians are being killed. I remember a video was described. I can't see the video because I'm a visually impaired person. A video was described where a guy was being killed, and they were literally, sorry, trigger warnings. I can't see, but just imagine that video, mutilating somebody alive and yelling Allahu Akbar. So this just tells you, I don't know if they read and they yell the same Allahu Akbar, but this just tells you that this is a jihadist, thing going on in the Middle Belt. They just want to, in my own opinion, it can be, I mean, it can be something else. In my own opinion, I just think it's a religion thing. They want to be able to control that territory. They see Christians as infidels, like someone said. They call us infidels. So the last speaker was emphasizing on something. I don't see this government. I don't know, and I'm going to be frank. I don't see them doing anything. So I don't even know the kind of solutions to even prefer right now. But I think I want to emphasize on what he said. I think people of Middle Belt to find a way to defend themselves until we see how we can. I know it's not easy. Well, I can't say I know because I don't know what you guys are facing. You know, but these people are not helping. Trust me, you guys' voices are being heard. Hashtags are trending. Violent Space is talking about it. Even on Mommy Bolanle that spoke. I know what she's doing. Look at, she's even going to organize a protest in UK. We are hearing you people's voices. We are really speaking. I also spoke on the Westerner spaces. So please, while a solution can be preferred, please, I mean, can be executed. Please, I think what can happen is either you avoid it or see how you can defend yourself because it's just getting too much. I don't know. I don't know. It's getting too much. The way we are hearing people dying, it's quite alarming. So I just came here to say we are with you guys. We'll keep trying our best wherever we are, letting our voices on, especially Twitter. Twitter is a powerful platform. So please keep it up. This space is too, and I want to say that as many of us that can host spaces, I'm even encouraged. Maybe I'll do my own thing as well. As many of us that can host spaces as well, to keep speaking, keep talking. Let people know that these things are going, and let's emphasize that it's a Nigerian thing so that the people in the middle belt will not be left alone. Let Nigerians know. Let radio stations, TV, let them know that it's a Nigerian thing and not just a middle belt thing. Let me yield the mic here.
Thank you very much, Tommy. Thank you so much. It is actually not a Middle Belt thing. It is a Nigerian thing. Yeah. So, Daniel, are you available to speak? You have the mic. Daniel.
All right. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. All right. I'm really happy to be given the chance to speak because I've been here for a while and I'm running out of battery. So
Good
let me
evening.
make it real quick. Yeah, you can see my picture. Maybe someone will be mistaking me for an Igbo or some. No, I'm not an Igbo. I'm from Tafabile, Bauchi State. But the very problem we're facing is the reason why I have to stand with the Eastern people, because the very best idea they have so far is for us to end Nigeria now and save our life, because Nigeria was never in existence when we, as a people, were defending ourselves from such people. You remember during the Daffodius conquest, he was only able to conquer our areas, but with the power of one Nigeria, they're using the resources we have against us. And as we can see, all our forces are under their control. They will send them. These our able men that were supposed to protect us. They will be sent to other communities which they know nothing of, and then they send other people who do not have our interest in heart to be with us. Either they are going to be bribed, or they give way due to maybe their commanders giving them command to do like this and do like that. You'll be wondering that, okay, security forces are right there with you, but terrorists are still striking. That is the life experience we have in Tafablewa. Every one of you from Mangu knows my story. So coming to this one now, I will have to detail myself a bit about why I like my fellow IPOB day. I have to stop him, like, okay, you don't have to talk about Samuel Ekpa. It is not a call about. If you call for armed struggle, we are calling for a total extermination of we are calling for the total extermination of ourselves by ourselves. We cannot embark on armed struggle. No. The only thing we do now is we come out, call our men in the security forces, come back home and defend us while we decide if we can do Nigeria or not. That is the only option we have left now. If you think you would depend on Nigeria, it is a big lie from the pit of hell. And I will repeat this: if you wake me up from my sleep today, tomorrow, or any other day, that is the only option, because we have no other option. The very Nigeria we believe in don't believe in us. Imagine the foreign embassies here in Nigeria is safe. The foreign businessmen who are investors here are safe. And they are even maltreating our security forces. They don't even pay them proper money. Even if they dare to remove their shoes, some of them got their salary cut off. These are our able men. And the very painful part of it is you find the names like Ishaya, Beatrice, Marcus, Johanna, Yonana. These are people who are good in defending the embassies, the politicians, and the foreign investors. These are our men from the middle belt, from the north, who are Christian. But you know how submissive we are and how low abiding we are. So they use that as an advantage to be taking them, to be sending them to defend the wrong places, while the very people they are meant to defend, we are insecure. And so the only thing we do now is call our men, just like Nnamdi Kanu, called out and said, our men in the military should come back and defend our community. What would be your gain when you are done serving the interests of those who are killing your people at home? You come back home, you don't have anybody to call you, hey, uncle, you're welcome. Thank you for the good job. Hey, daddy, you're welcome. What would be their fate if they come back and they discover that community is no more? So it's a call we have to call on to our men in the security forces. Since you've been in there, it's not helpful to us. Just come back from there. Let's form our own security outfit. Let the Nigerian people know that, okay, we have this security outfit. It is not unlawful. Since Hizbah can operate outside the Nigerian constitution, we also have the right to do so. And the call to self-defense is never wrong. But when we say the masses should do it, no, come on, we can't. And no Tafa tried this process. Yes, it worked. But was I supposed to be using my strength to defend myself, or to invent an idea that will just develop Africa, and then people will be like, okay, fine, Africa is growing? We are supposed to be using an idea to develop something and not to defend ourselves. We have the military. So the only thing we have now is let's call our security forces, the south, the west, everywhere. Then we decide we can unify our tribe, and then by unifying ourselves, we can now decide which tribe are we going to relate with, and those who we are not going to relate with. We know our land, we know our boundaries. The very Mangu people you see, if you leave us in the ancient days, we share history. I, Ezar Salman, the Angasman, and the Magavuma and the Mangu. If you go deep down in the history, we are all the same. So when somebody is trying to take the killing, like, oh, in the middle belt. No, it's everywhere. If the terrorists kill one of us, they say they kill individual, be it a southerner, a westerner, or we up there in the middle belt. I don't even like to call the name middle belt, because they came when Nigeria came to exist. So I like to define like we, the minorities, up in there. So that is exactly what we're supposed to do now. Let's unify our tribe wherever we are, and then call on our people to come back from the security forces to defend us. Then we decide if we are doing Nigeria or not. I yield the mic. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much. Victor, I see your hand up. Okay, yeah, you have the floor, Victor. Victor, can you hear me? Um, can any Victor, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Omoye, please go on, please. Have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much once again for talking about this today. I agree with the fellow who spoke earlier that, this is a Nigerian thing. I think Tommy also alluded to it when he spoke earlier. And greetings to everyone in the speaker session as well, and the listeners. I'm sorry. So I agree with both of them. I kind of cringe when we have speakers who always want to make it about one particular region. I don't think we should be doing that as Nigerians, to be honest. Whatever happens in one part of the country should affect all of us, and we should all be speaking up. I agree with the last speaker when he said that the military personnel within the army in Nigeria, within all the forces that we have in Nigeria, they should all, would they say they don't know what's going on? Would they say that they don't see the bias and the prejudice and the mayhem and the killings that are happening? Are they going to say that they don't know about it? So it's time for them to stand up and leave the military and go back and help their people. That's how it ought to be. Me, I don't understand. Everyday killing. These people should come out of the military and say, you know what? What's the point of being in the military when I can't save my people? I can't protect my people. I can't do anything. So I think that people should start. I think we should start putting emphasis on that. People should start leaving and joining to fight and teach their people how to fight, because we are in an all-out war. Let's just call it what it is. That's what we are right now. We're in a war, So our middle belt brothers and sisters can be doing what they can for now, but we need to come together with them. We need to put our whatever grievances aside right now. We don't have to like each other to come together and fight for our survival, for crying out loud. We can still, at least to a certain extent, maybe not so much a great extent, but to a certain extent, douse this whole situation. But if we're quiet and we are silent and we are not doing anything, there's no strategy on ground, we're just coming here and talking, we're not going to go very soon, because whether we like it or not, it is a takeover that these people are looking for. They are trying to change the ethnicity in Nigeria, the whole of Nigeria, not just the middle belt. So I beg anybody who has a brother, whether you're in the force or whatever you are, start to they call your brothers, come out, one after the other. Tell them, come out, come and teach us how to. We need it. Start to they call your brothers, your uncles, your sisters, any one of them. How much do they pay them? How much? How much do they pay them? Not people when they see when they serve watery beans and gari. I be we know they see them. See their barrack. Of what use is it anyway? They go send them to go die for nothing. This is the time. All those skills when they learn, may they come teach their people. Everybody need to be ready, from the middle belt to the south as a whole. Everybody need to be ready. It's just that simple. We are tired of seeing our brothers and sisters being slaughtered. We are tired. When we don't need to like each other to come together and fight a common enemy. We don't need to talk to each other. We fight, finish, we come together, fight, finish. Everybody enter house. Answer their papa name. It's been real. We fought, we've won, everybody go your side. If that's what we want. But until now, we know that we don't have anybody on our side. If we're running from one place to the other, looking for one international organization, whatever, international people will not join us unless we start to do something. Let's get that straight. Otherwise, it will all end on Spaces, a few YouTube videos, and maybe CNN, whatever, presence by one very low-key human being. That's all. So we have the opportunity to change what is going on right now. So please, let's come together and speak as one right now, not as regions. I beg Guna. I'm only speaking for myself. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. You don't have to like it, but I just think for the greater good for right now, we need to get our acts together and fight for one common good. Thank you very much. I yield.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Omoye. Thank you so much. Like she said, innocent lives have been lost. Like families are torn apart, and the scars on our collective conscience is deepening. Like we find ourselves like with questions, grappling questions that demand answers. And these answers, you can't just sometimes when you be like, oh, what's happening? What's happening? You ask yourself these questions, and these questions need answers, and yet no one is answering for you. If they're not answering for you, then you find answers for yourself. You come together, unite. This like when the peace is being fragile, like everything is just being scattered. Like the responsibility of the leadership and the urgent need for unity, everything is just in chaos. Like we are one step ahead of like falling. In fact, we are almost falling. So you don't need to say it's not me. You have to like gather your tools and say, okay, yes, I believe I can do this. I believe we can come together and end this violence. So this is something we need to discuss. It won't just end on Spaces and YouTube or any other places. You get, we need to come together for a general voice. Come together. Our next speaker. I can't pronounce your name, but it's thoughts at white. It said talk mining engineer. That's what's on your profile. You have the
Yet,
floor, please.
yet, Shark.
Jack,
Feedback,
come.
yeah. Good evening, and thanks for having me. Um, the issue of this massacre that has been going on, or an intentional genocide of wiping out the people of Plateau, didn't just start today. In fact, when it started, people were like, I think, making comments and passing out um, talks like it is Plateau thing. It is Plateau thing until it went over to Benue, then Taraba. Now we are hearing of Enugu. But let me not just go too far. Let me come back to Plateau State. These killings has been going on for years now. For years. It is a genocide going on. And I'm very surprised and shocked at the attitude of our men in uniform because they always come out to act surprised as if we don't know what is going on. So I like what one of the speakers said when he said, "This is a Nigerian problem. It is not just Plateau." And I'm very happy with some of the comments I've had so far from people that have spoken before me. And I think it is high time we have to be intentional about the issues going on in Plateau State. We have to be intentional. Let us know what we want and let us pursue it. Because I guarantee you, these people don't have a heart. They will keep coming to kill, to cause havoc, as long as they are not being challenged or put to their place. That's just the obvious fact. There is need for counteractive measures to checkmate these people and put them back to where they belong because they are so heartless and demonic. They don't think of anything outside the intentions they have in heart, which is to continue killing and killing and killing, and nobody is checkmating them. This is very terrible. It is very terrible, and I just hope and pray that solution comes very soon because with the way things are going, I don't think we're in a safe hands as regards the security situations and all I have been seeing on the media. I don't think solution is coming soon until we rise up to this occasion, come together as Nigerians, not seeing it as is a plateau thing. Let us come together. Let us checkmate the government, checkmate the security operatives, and see how we can help these people. Because for God forbid bad thing, okay, after they finish with plateau, which place is next? They keep spreading out like that and continue giving the country a bad image and just causing havoc everywhere. So with what I've said so far, I believe whatever we are doing here is going to be productive, and I want to appreciate Mrs. Bolanle. I see what all you've been doing in UK, and may God bless you and strengthen you. And I hope, especially the people from Plateau who are resident in UK, will come out en masse and support you whenever you are campaigning or clamoring for the good of this country. For us in Nigeria, too, it is only God that will help us because the situation we found ourselves so far, even hunger will not even allow people to come out to do any demonstration or anything. Thank you very much. I yield the mic.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Chad, for your comments. Talking about this jihadists, they've grown so daring that before they attack a community, they send them letters to tell them we are coming to attack your community so day. And true to their words, they come. And these communities keep reaching out to security to say these are threats we've received. This is this and this is that. And these jihadists come to these communities and they carry out their attacks for hours before security would come or would never show up. And if at all they do, those small cities and community members that they come to that have tried to defend themselves, they would be the one to be arrested. And tomorrow they would be paraded as suspects. When they knew beforehand, they know they never showed up when they were informed. When the attack was going on, they don't show up, they will not show up, and then come hours after the attack and make arrest of innocent people and tag them as jihadists or as criminals. It's very disheartening. Um, we have is Mayowa ready to speak now?
Mayowa, are you ready? I think he just went off. Can you hear me, good friend?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I think Mayowa just went off. Okay, if you want to speak, please you can request for the mic and I will grant you access. Um, yeah.
And
Okay.
please, if you're commenting, use the um hashtag wow spaces, wow space, and wow as in WAW, so that we'll be able to keep track of these conversations. Thank you. I see
Jalang.
okay, okay, Jalang Mandong. And yeah, Jalang Mandong, please go on.
Yeah.
Mandong, please unmute your mic and speak.
Please
Yeah.
unmute your mic. I think he can't hear us or something. Okay, yeah, okay, it's on.
Okay, he's speaking.
Go for it, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
What is happening? His mic is on.
Yeah.
I think so. I think okay, yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good
Good
evening.
evening, Mandong.
Um, Nice to be here.
Um, I will first of all say I'm a victim of um 24th December attack on Bokos, where I lost 10 members of my family, including my father and siblings. Um, like Gofo and earlier said, these attacks, before these jihadists perpetrate or attack a community, they usually send letters to these communities, which these letters will be given to the security operatives so they would be aware and then take actions. But then these security men will not do anything. And even when the attacks are going on, they will not still come, or they will come hours after the attacks have been carried on. That's the case of my village, where 18 people were killed on the 24th December 2023, Christmas Eve. Um, it's quite sad that all these things are happening and the security operatives will only come and keep arresting the innocent people or the victims for trying to protest or try to voice out their feelings. It's quite sad. And then I just pray and hope that after this discussion, those who are influencers, those who are uh, newsmen and women, will carry out or spread out this information. You know, they'll carry out campaign hashtags end to these killings and everything, so that we'll see where we go from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would love to add something. I remember when I was back. That was back in.
Can you hear me,
Can you hear
Kanwa?
me, Kanwa?
Yes, I can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear
Madam,
you.
please,
Mandong,
can
please,
you mute
can
your
you
mic?
mute your mic? You can go on, Churchill.
Okay, I remember back in secondary school. They teaching us history. Yes, and my favorite quote was from Mandela. Actually, he said something. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. What triggered me the most was the religion part and the background because I'm Nigerian, and Nigeria is a country with different. We like get apart from three religions. Yes, Islamic, Christian, and any other one. Get, but that what was like that was like what interested me the part. And he said, people must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. But love comes naturally human. Um, go for Go for it. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me, please?
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you.
So, people must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes naturally to the human heart, than its opposite. So the killings happening in Plateau, the mango killings happening in Plateau, is something that is scary. It's very scary now. Like it's really scary. It's an everyday topic, and not that it's an everyday topic, it's something that is connected to our lives. And and seeing the news that, oh, people are getting butchered, people are getting killed, it's so scary, because these people have dreams, these people have lives ahead of them, these people have children, these are generations being wiped away, like generation being wiped away out of the, like they are wiped away. And it's something that you can't just sit and say, is a I will start you start bringing out a controversial topic to it, or adding something that is not making sense, which is very, very sad to hear that. And navigating this, we can let us channel our collective energies towards fostering understanding, compassion, and unity. Standing together is key, but also committed to the ideals of peace. Every like Nigeria is so chaotic that the peace is there's no peace at all. Like since December till now, there's no peace at all, apart from what's happening online, different topics coming out and all. But you see this particular topic on the killings of the people in Plateau, it's something that I see that people are not even putting in check. It's just it comes once in a while. I just like, oh, and then when you see people talking about it, they add so many other discussions. They make it seem as if it's something different. But what we are saying is like our collective force is saying that let's put our minds to this and find solution. That is basic thing here. So we have
Yeah.
some speakers here. Who
Okay,
go next?
before they come up, I just want to quickly say, Mandong, we really sympathize with you over the loss of your family. I can only imagine losing 10 people in a day. I can only imagine. We pray that your family is comforted and God will just give you peace over the killings. We're really sorry. I think Agent 007 would go next.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to speak. To Mandong and everybody else, I will like to say I'm sorry and pour out my heart and empathy and have sympathy for your situations. And, you know, this space and what the different saddening stories has shown and continues to show is that we as a people, Nigerians, lack empathy. Oftentimes, we lack empathy, we lack sympathy, and we lack the ability to really care unless it's something personally touches us. Um, I can say for people here in the States, I try to have the conversations, about, what we can do, what can we be done to change things. And every time it's broken down to, oh, we're Yoruba, forget those people, that's their own problem. Or those are Igbo problem, or it's a northerner problem, or it's a middle belt problem. People who don't care. And then when you show them the videos or you show them the pictures of what's going on, they say, oh, you're trying to disturb my day. You're trying to hurt my feelings, you're trying to harass me, and that's my problem, that's not my issue. But then the same person, individuals will now
Can anyone
cry.
hear me? Come on, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Churchill. I can
I
hear
think
you.
he just went off. I think he went off. I think he
Can you hear
went
me?
off. Um.
I can hear
Okay.
Agent. I can hear him. Please go
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Sorry. So people lack empathy until it personally touches them. They divide it. A lot of times people have a ethno tribal cultural bigotry that's disgusting, and it's really makes it hard to overcome. And I hope we do in this generation and moving forward, because that's when real change can happen. You know what I mean? In order to really move things forward and be progressive and do better, we need to have real change, and we need to have more compassion and work with people from other cultures. Not, oh, it's an Igbo thing, or it's a Yoruba thing, or because a lot of these people, I grew up with a lot of this politicians' kids back here in the States. I grew up with them. We grew up in here in Maryland, and oftentimes they didn't care because it doesn't affect them. It's all about what I can get out of it. And I think that we need to keep trying, keep having different avenues, protests, revolutions, everything we can in order to bring about that change that can really galvanize the group of people. And not only when it affects personally affects our family members. Like, I've had family members being kidnapped for ransom. I've had family members, had other similar type of issues, raped and everything. But then those same family members or people who are affected, when I tell them about what's going on in the middle belt, or tell them what's going on in the east, I don't care about that. It's not my issue. And that's crazy and wild to me. That's all I really wanted to say for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you, agents, for speaking. Next we have Sam. Is Sam on the space? Oh, okay. I think the network took him out. Um, talking about wiping out of families. One of the families that were burned alive in their home during the recent mango crisis. Everybody in the house, everybody except a 10-year-old that was able to that they were able to put out to save her by the window. Everyone else in the family died. So you can imagine how life would be for this 10-year-old going forward, left with absolutely no one. Her mother was in the house alongside her grandfather and her uncles, and she was the only one who survived. So it is really, really, really heart-wrenching stories that come out from these places. I mean, okay, Samson, you're back. Samsu, please, you have the mic. Go on.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go on,
Okay,
please.
so
We can hear
thank you
you.
very much for creating this space. I'm really sad that since 2001, I think when I left just shortly after the first one of those crises that Plateau State hasn't we still have not solved this problem. But I'm happy that some of the very vocal handles that I have seen on Twitter in terms of reporting the recent crisis, are also on the space. And one appeal I just want to make is this: that I think in the last 3 days or so, what we know is that terrorists definitely attacked Bokos, and then they've gone to Mangu to do the same thing. But you see, what has happened is that they have sort of, in terms of how we have crafted the narrative, we have sort of moved away and made it a Muslim and a Christian thing, and sort of like we're playing into the playbook of the terrorist, because some Muslims are also affected. So I think we need to bring back this issue around bringing this into the government to ensure that those bandits or terrorists that are going to kill people in the communities, that stays as the narrative. Because what is happening in Mango is like it's seeming as if it's some kind of religious crisis that Muslims and Christians are killing themselves. But whereas what really happened is that terrorists went to kill people, but then they've now turned it into become like something that is a religious crisis, and we're going to fall into their trap and just leave terrorists, and then they will now start killing ourselves and all that. So I'm happy that this space is happening, and I just want to encourage that in terms of how we frame the thing, actually we should still stick to the point that security people are not doing enough to protect the communities, both Muslims and Christians. Because there's a woman, for example, in Mangu that sells tomatoes for me. She's not Fulani. She's a Muslim. But when these things happen, it also affects them because they have to run away when this crisis starts. I have a malam who, when I'm going to Pangshin, my village, I buy suya from them. They have been there for decades, but they have been chased. They've been killed. I have an old widow who I'm supporting in Mangu, who have also been chased, and she's left the church and they've run somewhere. So somehow the terrorists come, cause havoc. Security people don't protect the communities, and then somehow this narrative, people start tweeting that it is Christians killing Muslims or Muslims killing whatever. Meanwhile, we leave the terrorists to do what they need to do. So please, let's help to craft the right messages. I am seeing religious leaders taking the extreme position. It's not going to help us. But I think the best we can do for our state is to try to ensure that we craft nice narrative so that we force the government and the security agencies to protect the lives of everybody. Again, this is a very good initiative that you've taken, and I hope that it will help to raise voices to ensure that our people are protected. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Samsu, for that, and we hope that everyone affected at the end of the day finds succor. So Dr. Barry, are you ready? You can go next, please. Anuli, you would go after Dr. Barry. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Madam Gang. Thank you, Shalong. Thank you, West Africa, David, and then thank you. But the reason actually I did not want to speak because my spirit is down. And but honestly speaking, after knowing everything that's happened in Nigeria, in the Middle Belt, in Jos, in Plateau State, in Mangu, oh boy, we're gonna stop this thing now. Stop saying it's not a religious thing. Stop. That's why they are killing you. It's not a religious thing, and somebody is saying Allahu Akbar after the destruction. What did they do now, self, these Christians? Stop this thing. Whether you buy suya from somebody and he was killed, it's not a yardstick. Whether you buy potato or sugar from somebody on the street that is a Muslim, it's not a yardstick. We have two kinds of Muslims. Some who practice Islam because they are born Islamic. Some practice Islam because they are real Muslims. The real Muslims are the ones killing people because that's what their Quran and their Hadith has said. Why do you think the Muslims in the northern Nigeria do not see the Muslims in the southern Nigeria as Muslims? Why? Because they say they don't do the things that the Quran says. You marry children as wives. You kill people, we stone them to death. If I'm a Muslim today and I decide to say I'm no more a Muslim and I say, fuck Muhammad. And so what about that? If he's a real prophet, let him come and kill me now. If I blaspheme over the Bible over or the Quran, and that Bible or the Quran is the real religion, why do you have to stone me to death? Do you know how many people in the northern Nigeria have been arrested or have been tried using the Sharia law? They are not Muslims. The something Rhoda, something Jato that was just released. She was locked up for close to a year, more than a year, using the Islamic law. Deborah, that was killed in Sokoto, was killed using the Islamic law of jungle justice. What are you people saying? These guys killing people from in the Middle Belt in Jos are military terrorist militia from the Fulani tribe. What are you saying? Why are you saying it's not religious? Have you seen any Christian who has gone to kill somebody and say, in Jesus' name? Every Christian who have killed anybody or who is based on what these Muslim Fulani Malaysians have done to them. Why are you coming here gaslighting us and say you are a Christian or whatsoever? We are not happy for what's happening, but we should speak to the truth. Don't come here and give us one fake policy and tell us that the killing is not religious, that the killing is terrorist. Who are the terrorists? Do you see Christians who are terrorists? Even when Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB was proclaimed as a terrorist organization, did you not see the world, even America, everywhere, say they reject it? Before Nnamdi Kanu's people were declared as terrorists, did you see them kill anybody? They started killing people when the Nigerian military, through Buhari's administration, sent soldiers to go and waylay him in his house, and he ran away. That was when they too started killing. More, stop all these things now. Stop all these things and trying to and stop preaching useless peace. Like somebody said on this platform, if these guys killing people don't know that we too can kill, they won't run away from us. Let them know you can also kill. Let them know you too, you have the liberty of killing. Nobody in this country has the monopoly of killing anyone, even the military. Why do you think we say the military is compromised? Because we have a lot of people who are in the military, who are terrorists, even to the extent of major generals. They should come and arrest us. That's the truth. We are saying that. Are you not in this country when Buhari, the criminal terrorist Buhari, reorganized and romance terrorists, called them repentant terrorists, and put them in the army and put them in the police force? Do you know how many criminals, almost 500 criminals, last 2 months were enlisted into the Nigerian police in Kano? People who have killed people's parents, people who have destroyed people's lives and businesses are declared and called branded terrorists. That's as in repented.
Government brought money and put them in hotels so close for them, give them good food to eat, and give them opportunity to join the police, the army. And you, who is a real Nigerian, before you join the army or the police, you have to bribe. You have to look for somebody who will come and bail you out, identify you as a local government chairman or someone in the military to give you consideration. Meanwhile, these terrorists who came from other countries, the Fulani country, in Mali, in Niger, in Burkina Faso, they brought them and put them in our police. And you are coming here to talk nonsense that somebody who bought tomatoes from you is not a terrorist, so we should not show terrorism back to them. Who is not a terrorist in this world? Who?
Dr. Barry,
Who is
please.
not a terrorist in this world? The reason why we're putting up any violent person is a terrorist. Any person who forces you to do anything against your will is terrorism. Somebody comes to kill you in your house and you defend. That your defense is a terroristic defense. What is terrorism? Go and check it. What is terrorism? Please don't come here and tell us that kind of thing. Don't register this kind of information on the space. This space is being recorded. Let the people of the world know that this is what's going on. Stop telling people this is not a religious. Who are the people doing it? Are they from China? Don't you hear when they keep somebody in videos, you hear Allahu Akbar? You are not a Muslim and you chant Allahu Akbar with so much peace and with so much sweetness that you've done something for your God. Which kind of God is that? Which kind of religion is that? You know how many places in the Quran that gives you the authority to kill your brother if he refuses to be a Muslim? Do you know that? It's in the Quran, it's in the Hadith. So what kind of religion is that? That will declare somebody blasphemous and you say, stone this person to death, and all of them will be stoning, whether the person is a Muslim or a Christian. As far as there is a decision in the Quran, in a holy book, according to them, that say you should kill somebody, that is terrorism. It's a terrorism act. The book that you are following, is it not a human being who fucking wrote it? The person they call Muhammad, the Holy Prophet, does he have forehead? Is he not a same human being that killed people during his time and married people's wife, even married children? I'm not a Muslim. I should not be judged with an Islamic law. So will anybody not be judged with the Christian law if the person is not a Christian? All the movies they've done that Jesus is this, Jesus is that. Did we kill anybody for those movies? You come here and be telling us nonsense? Look,
Okay, Dr. Barry.
it's a religious war against the Christians. The Christians are being killed in the Middle Belt, and the world must hear it. Any of you who come here to gaslight us and think you will go freely, God will punish you and your generation unto your fourth generation. Or God will kill your brother and your sister, your mother or your father, so that you know
Dr.
how painful it
Barry.
is to see
Dr.
children in
Barry.
refuge, to see children in jaws, wandering up and down without father and mother. You come here
Dr.
to talk
Barry.
nonsense because your father is not free.
Dr. Barry, brother, can I
Dr.
respond
Barry.
to you?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Dr.
Your
Barry,
father no die,
please.
your mama no die. You can't dey
Dr.
talk this
Barry,
kind of
can I
thing.
respond to you, my brother?
Dr.
You don't need
Barry.
to
Dr.
respond. I don't want to hear
I'd
your
like to
response. I'm
respond because
angry
you
with you.
resonate and you're
I'm your
making
brother,
Dr.
but I'm
points.
not happy with what you said.
No, I'm
Dr.
not
If
Barry.
arguing. I'm not
anybody
here
can't
to
tell you,
argue
let
with
me
you, my
tell you.
brother.
Dr. Barry. Dr. Barry, can you hear me, please? Can
I
you
can hear
hear
you,
me?
sister.
I
It's not
understand.
fair now.
I
It's not fair.
understand. I
This is
understand the
terrorism.
standpoints.
This
Dr.
terrorism is
Barry.
about killing Christians and grabbing and taking their lands. Did you hear any
Amen.
Muslim coming up
Amen.
to
That is
say
true.
they kill them?
That is true.
Dr. Barry. Dr. Barry. Dr. Barry. Like I
I
said
beg,
at the
I don't want to
beginning
fight
of
with you. You are my brother, but please don't say that again. Please, I beg you. This is
thing.
the killing of Christians and it's religious.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is religious, and it's time people acknowledge that's what it is. It is religious. Not all Muslims do it to Christians. Some Muslims are better than that. But that it is religious. Even in Quran 9:29, strike terror into the hearts of the unbelievers. That is terrorism. Jesus said, about stoning people to death. The real Jesus, the Christian Jesus, said
Let those without sin cast the first stone. In other words, everybody's a sinner, so you've got no right to judge others and kill them. And nobody has got the right to go around killing anybody because they don't share their religious beliefs. You know, these are crimes against humanity, you know, and it's because, look, I don't know what the makeup is of people on this space, but, you know, whether you're Christian or Muslim, you have to love your fellow brother, even if you don't like what they believe in, even if you don't like, you know, anything about them. You still have to treat them with respect. Just because you don't like certain things about them is no reason to want to terrorize them and kill them and rape them. You know, this is just wrong. It's just totally wrong. And it's time Christians, not just in Nigeria, but around the world, find out what the true Christianity is. It's not about being meek. It's not about being timid. You know, when they say turn the other cheek, it doesn't mean, you know, just be soft and let them hit you and hit you and hit you over and over again. It means turn it in defiance and fight back. That's what it means. And even a lot of Christians don't know that. Look, I've tried in the last few years to raise awareness of, you know, the plight of oppressed people around the world, and Christians are the most oppressed people in the world. There's no doubt about that. They are the most persecuted and the most genocided people in the world. Yeah, they're not the only ones, but they are, without a doubt, they suffer the most. And you know, the Western people, the leaders, you know, they pretend to be Christians. Even like the Vatican, they pretend to be Christians. They're fake. They're just using the religion. The real religion is in the teachings of Jesus. It's in the Bible. Yeah, it's not. It's not the twisted version the Vatican put out, or the twisted versions politicians use for their own advantage. And that's how they took it into Africa. They took it into India. They took Christianity around the world by the sword. But this is not what Jesus taught. This is against what Jesus taught. Yeah. They have bastardized the teachings of Jesus because they saw they could get power and fortune and land out of it. And so they've gone around slaving people in the name of Jesus. And now you wonder why people don't want to, you know, but Jesus didn't teach those things. By contrast, Muhammad did teach those things. Muhammad did do those things. And it's time Christians realize they're not, you know, the God of Islam is not the God of Christianity. They're the total opposite. You know, I heard on a space the other day that there was a guy calling himself the reformed Muslim. You know, he was going to reform Islam. Well, that's a lie for a start, because, you know, to reform Islam means you have to change the Quran. And that's one of the worst crimes you could ever do in Islam, is to try and change the Quran. So that's a big lie. And when he got down to, people were asking him, so what are you doing to reform Islam? And he'd give you a load of stories about how the Syrians, I think he was from Syria, this guy, he lives in America, but he was saying, oh, the Syrians, the Christians, and you know, we all live together peacefully with the Muslims. That's a lie, because they had the Assyrian genocide of the Christians. They had death marches where they just marched people for weeks and weeks, starved them, beat them, raped them all along the way, killed them all along the way, just marched them into the ground until they were all dead, basically. And it wasn't just in Syria, it was in Armenia and somewhere else as well. But to say these wars are not religious is a joke. They are religious, just like the war in Israel is religious, because after the Muslims, they were invited in, Muhammad was invited into the Kaaba, which was all pagan. They were all pagan worshippers. His parents were pagan as well. I forget the name, Sabian or something like that, Koresh or something like that. But they invited them in, and once they let them in, they wanted to take over. And that's what they did. And then they smashed the whole place up. You know, you see them marching around the black stones, circumambulating the black stone, kissing the black stone at Kaaba. The pagans used to do this. They've stole that from the pagan religion. You know, that's what the pagans used to do. They had a very similar stone, and they used to all walk around the stone and all get very excited around this stone like it had some. This is idolatry anyway. If you're worshipping a stone, this is idolatry. And
Pablo,
then 3 years after that, they
Pablo,
conquered Israel, what is now Israel, and that's how you had the first caliphate in Israel. And then a
Pablo,
few
please
years after
round up.
that, they came
please,
into
Pablo, can
Europe.
you round up, please? Can you round up, Pablo, please?
Sorry, what's that?
Can you
Can you
round up?
round up?
I'll round up, yeah. I want to see Christians around, I don't want to see the good Muslims, because there are good Muslims. I mean, if you look at, there are 2 billion Muslims in the world, right? That's a lot of people, and a lot of them are nice people, yeah? A lot of them, most of them are nice people, but there's around 3 to 500, half a billion Muslims are not nice people. They're the ones that are doing the atrocities. They're the ones that are practicing Islam. And, the moderate Muslims are not challenging them. They're not standing shoulder to shoulder with Christians who are being genocided. They didn't stand with the Yazidis. They're not standing with them. And so, the Christians and the non-Muslims cannot really rely upon the Muslims when it comes to it to stand with them. So they have to stand with themselves. So, if you have to unite with all your fellow Muslims and start being brave and start being strong and realize that you're on this earth not to be a slave, not to be somebody's dimmy. You're here to be free, and you and your families have the right to live and breathe and enjoy the life, without being persecuted. I'll land
Yeah,
there. Thank you.
so much. Thank you so much, Pablo. Thank you so much. Girlfriend, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, please, do the.
Uh, okay. Kangang, thank you for joining us here live. Kangang has been, no, rather, is a vocal voice when it comes to the issues of Plateau and the Middle Belt as a whole. Thank you very much for taking our time to be on this space. We'll give you the mic. We'll find a very good time to give you mic to share stories of the Middle Belt. But for now, Anuli was supposed to go. After Anuli, Kangang, please, would speak. Anuli, you have the mic.
Okay, thank you everyone that has contributed so far. I hear the
Anuli,
stories.
can you
Can you
speak
hear
now?
me? Okay, I'm
I think
speaking. Can
Anuli
you
is
Kanye.
hear me?
speaking. Anuli is
Okay,
speaking.
okay.
Okay. So I hear the stories and it's heartbreaking because for me, I know people from the plateau have done business with them. They're one of the most peaceful people I know. So hearing all these things happening to them is heartbreaking. And that said, there's a way they train us to behave the way the world ought to be, which is at variance with the way the world is. I don't know if some of us were watched a video of a Russian man putting his under 5, 7-year-old two boys into a frozen bucket of ice and telling them to close their nose and immerse themselves in it for a while and bring them up. The wife was videoing them, and the reason he did that was because he was preparing them in times of war. So nobody prays for this kind of adversity, but what do you do when such things happen? You cannot envisage why the people that decide to hound people, kill people, maim people, then take over their land. You've never done that. You can never think to know 100% what drives them. It might be religious, it might be a couple of factors. So when this whole space is over, people should sit down and put on the drawing board what is the reality on ground. How do the people in the plateau prepare themselves to not let this happen again? For me, that is the most important thing. Because we could call another space, maybe in a week, or forbid, in a month, or whenever this thing happens again, and we go through all this anger and emotions, and there is no way forward. Two things I take out from listening since I joined. One is they said these people write and they say they are coming. But we have never seen these letters on social media. Someone like Jalong, the guy that lost 10 of his family members in a village, is heartbreaking. If the people in the village might not have the access to Twitter and to make this thing known, but at least they have us, or those of us that are related to them. Let us have this kind of letters. Do we have a letter, any letter that's been put out on an impending attack? That should be wide open on Twitter right now. People should know. The Nigerian military should be tagged officially for the whole world to see that there's a letter that we're going to come to this village. Let us now know if they don't respond when it comes. Let the people from the plateau take, the ones that are in this space, take it upon themselves to get the people in the villages to send these letters online so that people can really know what's happening. That's number one. That's the way we can stop this thing from happening, or get the people that are lax to sit up and do their work. Then the second thing is, I heard on this space that a community was taken out, and that militants, or what they call these invaders, have taken over a community or some communities. These stories should be in the space, not just like, oh, someone is narrating it. There are victims like Janlong that's in that community that can speak. Let people see. Let us now ask our security people, why are these people still here? We have a governor that is in charge of the land in the state. How do people that are not supposed to occupy a land stay there? On what authority? What's the CFO? What's the authority to ownership of that land? And what is the plan to get them out of that place so that the real owners can go back? Otherwise, we wake up and the whole state is sacked. And we are doing space upon space. Let the people sit down and map this thing out. In my place, they say when someone is giving birth, you should pray to have all kinds of children. The ones that will make peace, the ones that can defend when the time comes, the ones that do strategy, the ones that think, the ones that speak, the ones that defend legally. Let us take away, the stories is heartbreaking, but after the pity party, what next? I think these two things are what I wanted to point out. That at least, number one, let any impending letter that is out be out in the open for everybody to see. And number two, let there be a video coverage of what is actually happening as per people taking over people's properties and land. So that is the only way, because fighting people and putting different propaganda and fighting it will not get you anywhere. But if you have a real story of people telling their own story, then the outrage will arise. For a thing as grievous as this is the kind of number of people that are on this space. If the right things are put out on social media, then people will see that no, it's not banter. This is the real issue, and people will stay on it. That's my own
All
comment so
right.
far. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate.
Thank you very much, Anuli, for bringing in fresh perspective into the conversation. What do you do in you prepare for war? Nobody prays for war, but what do you do in preparation should in case it happens? Thank you very much for bringing fresh perspective again. Black boy, I see your hands up. Do you want to say something quickly so that Kangyang can go, please?
All right. Thank you again. I just want to reply to Samsu. Samsu is the guy that said the whole killing is not religious. It's just some extremists. So I just want to say something. Two truths can coexist. Now, hello.
Black, I can hear you. Go
Okay,
on.
okay, okay, yeah. So I said two truths can coexist. The killing that happened
Correct.
in Mangu, yes, there was an attack by jihadists, but there was also an attack by Mangu Muslims. Now, I know this because there's a video, there are videos of people being butchered that came out, and then you could see people point and say, oh, no, these people doing this, we know them, and they're Muslims in Mangu. We know, in fact, someone on Facebook actually mentioned names. He said he grew up with these boys, and they were the ones that were doing this killing. So, that whole narrative of, oh, no, it's not religious, please, let's not come and act as if we don't know what's going on. That's one. And then two, earlier, after I spoke earlier, and I think my brother Nenkinen said something, but I couldn't reply then because I was I was on my way. He said he doesn't advise that people should defend themselves, and he advises that people should call on the government. Now, if you check my timeline, I just retweeted something. That was a protest of us calling out the government in 2018. There were protests before that. There were protests in 2019, 20. My question is, 2018 is like 5 years ago. We were calling out the government. We still called out the government 2 weeks ago. Are we still going to keep calling out the government for the next 5 years? It's a pattern. Like, if you've been calling out the government for like 10 years and nothing has happened, when do you think something will happen? So I honestly, and this is a very genuine question, if you think that there's a way or method that we can call out the government the way we've not called them out, please suggest it. If not, I don't think we should be telling ourselves that, oh no, we should keep calling out the government, because it's obvious. We've been doing that for years. I'm talking about 7 years ago, we were protesting. Up till now, we're still protesting, calling out the government to come and do what they're supposed to do, and they're not doing it. So I honestly don't think calling out the government is an option. Let's not lie to ourselves. Is it till when we're no more? Please, I don't think at this point we should still be talking about calling out the government to come and do their own. They know what they're supposed to do at this point. And if they're not doing it, then we have to do it for ourselves. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Black Boy. We actually cannot put a number to the protests that we've had because of this issue on the plateau and elsewhere. So talking about protests and calling on the government, I mean, at some point, in fact, it is very important to mention at some point, the government banned protest because it was so much. So if it is protest has been done. Kangyang, are you ready, please? Are you there? Kangyang, are you there? Black Boy, can you hear me?
Girlfriend, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yes, I can hear you, Churchill. Kangyang, looks like Kangyang is not close by. Tony,
Who
are
is
you
next?
close to speak?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay,
Okay,
please
Tony,
go
go
on.
ahead. You have 2 minutes, please.
I beg your pardon?
I say, please, you have 2 minutes to speak, please.
Oh, I was hoping I would have more than 2 minutes, but if it bothers you, I would rather drop and come back later.
No, please
No,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Tony. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Well, first and foremost, I stand on all protocol observed, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for this opportunity to speak on this beautiful space. To talk about an important subject, so important that it has become the talk of the town and the world in general. And on that note, I consider it personally insulting and very, very disrespectful for anyone to come on this space and say what is happening in the Plateau is not genocide or religious cleansing. It's very insulting. And I think we must all consider that as an insult to our collective intelligence, considering what we have been seeing the past couple of weeks, months. Now, let me take us back because it appears Nigerians are generally, we have this short memory and the ability to forget things so easily. This whole thing did not start now. It started a long time ago. Do you remember Southern Kaduna? If you look at the geography there, predominantly Christians. What I'm trying to say in essence is that it is a conspiracy. Definitely something going on behind the scene. We have all seen videos of young, able bodied men with machete killing their own fellow human beings, all in the name of religion. And someone coming here to say this is not related to religion is, to me personally, very insulting, and we should all be appalled. That's the first thing. But on a more serious note, I would like to thank Jane, the young lady known as Kanyang, for bringing that information and everything that has been happening behind the scenes to our attention on Spaces, talking about it so fervently. And she's been doing a magical job, and everyone should encourage her and just thing. Now, on a more serious note, Christians generally in Nigeria should be very worried about what is going on. But I'm very, very happy that finally Cardinal Arinze spoke and he said something. If the government is not able to protect the people, it is time for the people to protect themselves. And they should do everything within their powers to do that. I just wish that we have someone similar to Raymond Reddington from a movie that I watched a few weeks ago that could help to provide some gadgets there that they can use to protect themselves. Because the government obviously is failing. We cannot sit back and watch this carnage going on while our fellow brothers and sisters, where is our common humanity when we can watch this and say it is not genocide? It is wrong. Let's call it exactly what it is. That way, we can at least start to talk about how we stop it. And the idea of moderate Muslim, is there any such thing as a moderate Muslim? This is a fight between good and evil, and there is no such thing as moderation in between. You either stand for the truth and stand for good, or you stand for evil. So the Muslims in Nigeria and all over the world should come out and condemn it if they truly believe that this is not a religious issue or related to their religion and their belief and what they've been taught. Why are they not speaking up? That is the worst part of it. You want me to believe that you are going out to kill a fellow human being and someone is shouting Allahu Akbar and it is not related to the religion. But their so-called imams are preaching the same hadith and all of these things in their mosque. While their religious beliefs equally includes killing anyone who doesn't believe or agree with them ideologically. And no one is saying anything about that from that climb. So please, let's step back for a moment and realize that this is serious. Their mission is to roll down to the south and dip their Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, if we are going to allow that, that's up to us. The middle belt is taking the heat right now. But if we don't get ready for them, we will have ourselves to blame. On that note, I thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I yield my mic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much um, for that. Zugumnan, are you ready to speak? Or is Kangyang back?
Is
Good
she back?
evening.
No, I
Okay.
don't think she is. Kangyang, go and Zugumnan, go on, please.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
One, yeah, thank you for this wonderful platform. Um, Everybody has said almost everything. Mine is just to stress on the need for vigilance and to be guarded, especially in these times, because I I feel like, no, not even feel, I'm beginning to see that we are surrounded by terrorist sympathizers, people who support these acts of terror on our people. And these are very, very educated people. And you tend to wonder where all these things is coming from. But it is an ideology that has already been established from going to the mosques and various places they hear various radical messages. So mine is to be very vigilant of such individuals who I feel like are even very close to us. These are people that we see them, we can even say, how far, we can greet them, laugh with them. But these people really, really walk around with radical views, and they are just waiting for any opportunity to strike. So we should be very, very vigilant with such individuals. So that's my own piece. So thank you very much, and I hope that we keep the faith, and God willing will win. Thank you.
Thank you, Zugumnan. Kangyang, again, are you back? Churchill, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, okay. I guess Kangyang is not back.
General is next.
Generals.
Yeah, General, please, you're next, please.
Good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead, please. Good evening.
All right. So, quickly, I just want to say something, and then I'll yield to the mic. Something that is important, um, and dangerous that we may not be ready for is probably coming, and it's simple. When the people are pushed to the wall, they result or they decide to self-preserve and protect themselves. And I'm not just talking about the plateau. We've seen stories of I've seen where a narrative, like, it's a pattern, it goes on and on and on. People who are attacked are being monitored. After a while, some young men are still picked from the village while these people are mourning and are angry and all that. And you begin to ask to what end these things would lead. Now, I'm just worried about what is coming to us, not just on the plateau or the middle belt, but as a country. We may not be ready for these things that are coming. The truth is, people would be pushed to the wall to self defense. And trust me, with or without the government's permission, these things would happen. But as a people, are we ready for these things? Are we even ready? Now, you don't go telling a person who is hurt a different narrative, or you sell something. Sensitivity is enough to tell you how to go about telling this person what is right and what is wrong, or what is not, and what you don't go. It's really risky for us as a people right now. And I would want to say this so that it would not look like we didn't say it to the government. If there are people on this space who are listening that would probably want to take something to either the federal government or the state government, tell them this Nigeria that we have, if they don't do the needful, people would resolve to. Now, you would notice people are beginning to attack our military formations. And I saw a press release by the military some hours ago that Kerang was attacked and their formations were attacked. And then I was laughing about it. Some months ago or weeks ago, we saw how they said the terrain was very difficult for a trained combatant to enter Bokos and give relief, while someone who is randomly or trained or doesn't have your training had access for hours and all that. It would resolve to that. And when it gets to that point, are we ready for the chaos that is coming to us as a people and as a country? Are we ready for it? If we're not ready for it, the needful should be done so that people would not go wild and begin to do things that we would not be able to handle at the end of the day as a country and as a people, as a region, or whatsoever you call it. If you notice, our leaders are busy calculating and thinking about 2027. None of them is really serious about who is dying or who is alive. Their kids are not in this country, they are out there. So even if you self destruct and all that, you just feel their kids are out there and they are safe. But hand go reach everybody, because when it gets to that point, we may not be able to handle these things that are coming. And if we love this country, or if we love ourselves, people will start protecting themselves. Now, one of the major things that is bringing this shake-up, I can guarantee you, one of the things that changed the narrative on the plateau for Mangu people, that both police had to come out and give a different press release and the military had to come out and give a press release, is the camp chairman in Mangu local government that was bold enough to say, if these things do not stop, he would mobilize his people. Now, he's a religious figure, a religious head. Everyone in Nigeria knows that. Khan has a way of just passing the peace message. Now, this man went all out, like he went haywire. People are getting tired. People are getting tired. And it's not going to be good for us as a people. We may not be ready for what is coming. We may not be ready. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for this time.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much, General. That was so succinctly put. Churchill, are you trying to speak? Please go on.
I just want to add to what General was saying. Everything he said was just like what I said earlier, and it's really, really well, I call it. It's really great hearing this again because obviously it's our voices that needs to be heard. Like he said, most of the people that like he said if you're a government agency here or you know someone that is working in the government agency that could like you could pass this information to, you need to, because most of these people are thinking about, most of our government, they are thinking about the 2027, because it's not as if you gather here, continue to do spaces and spaces and spaces, it won't make any sense if we don't like pass this information to the right sources. And our government are just silent, and it's really, really annoying hearing that and seeing that obviously. So we just need to like continuously with effortlessly and just like put in the work and make sure that okay, what we're doing is good and is driving in like great energy towards the people of Plateau. Is Pajok here? I don't think, can she hear me? Girlfriend, can you hear me?
Clearly.
Pajok is not here. Let's take another speaker. Okay, Wanderlust. That's at Break Yon. Okay,
Yes,
can you?
break your neck because I literally break motherfuckers' necks. Yes. Hi, good evening, everybody.
No
Evening.
violence here, please, please.
Now you sabi you. Sorry, but it's your house. Also, I'll take it. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Um, my heart is heavy, very heavy. I haven't been able to sleep. The day this happened, the Mango killings happened, I tossed and tossed up until 2 in the morning before I finally got some sleep, and then I woke up at 4 to get ready to go to the office. The things that I want to say, I can't even figure or fathom how to, construct them properly. Anyway, I'm a native of Plateau State as well, and it's the reason why it's touched a very, very serious nerve. I think what I'm going to say today is, as Plateau natives, what we should seek to do is galvanize. And the reason I'm saying this is because for too long we have we've been very comfortable with the whole idea of, okay, if one tribe is going through, say, maybe they truly ate the cows from this other people. They ate the cows of Fulanis, and the whole thing just, people just turn a blind eye basically. But unfortunately, it's touched everybody now. So I hate to say it, but I think it's become a galvanizing force. So it's not just a plateau-centric issue, it's a middle belt-centric, Korova-centric issue. So I want to use this as a mode of plea to our people. Nobody should see themselves as Mangu, Tarok, Afiziri, Birom, or Rukuba, or whatever the case might be. What we're dealing with is a very poisonous and cancerous religious mindset. And I'm not afraid to say that Islam is a cancer. I don't care how you feel. I don't care if you're an adherent. It's not my job to bend like a pretzel to suit you. It's your job to prove me wrong that you're not what you think you are or what you practice. So I really don't give a damn what it is that you think you are as a Muslim. It's not my job to help you think or to, dance around it to make you feel happy. I really don't care how you feel. Islam is toxic. It's cancerous. Nobody that stays around Muslims a lot of times gets to enjoy how they feel. You're always like stepping on shells because you're trying not to offend them. And that's a horrible way to live. This morning, there was a video of a man in Quebec, in Canada, who walked into a Catholic church and he had the audacity to pray and knock his head on the floor at the altar. Catholics who allowed him into that place would never have the same courtesy from Muslims. They wouldn't. But today they have the audacity to go into people's churches and do it. And there was a there was a smug look on his face after he was done. The people that we're dealing with have a toxic and a cancerous faith that is incompatible with modern day society. That is what we're dealing with today. So it's not my job to make you feel good, like I said earlier. I don't care if you're Muslim on this app. I don't care how you feel. It's my stand. I've read your Quran. I've read your Hadith. It's poisonous. The motivations you have on that or from that book are completely in contrast to what modern society is all about. If you want people to stop pointing accusing fingers at you, it is your job to take time and reform that religion. But until then, we're going to call you for who you are. I don't care if you suspend my account. I don't care if you curse me or place a fatwa. I'm still gonna say it. This is not Salman Rushdie that you can go and stab. This is who I am. So what we're dealing with in the Middle Belt is very religious with a twist of ethnic superiority. And a lot of the reasons why we're dealing with this problem is because of what the British did to us. They elevated these people. Nigeria is a contraption that has long outlived her use. This union is no longer useful. It's absolutely no longer useful. It's not doing anybody any good. It's not doing anybody any good. The criminals that are busy prevailing in our region are simply because the powers in government are helping them. Take that stupid factor out, and what you have is just animals. These are people who, with the blink of an eye, you could actually finish. You could actually finish. That's the truth. But because they have managed to sneak their way in, they've established themselves, and it's unfortunate because we have been saying these things, but people don't even understand how horrible it is. David took his painstaking time to write conflicts for jihad, and people were still doubting that article. I cannot say more than what I can say. And I'm not going to be here to say, oh, this is what we're doing, oh, this is what we're doing. But best believe we're going to be standing on business henceforth. I'm not going to say more, we're going to be standing on business. And business can come in a lot of ways. So for those who actually want to find out, let them come and put head. May them come put head, may them know how far. But I bet you are not our parents. Trust me, what you're looking for, you are actually going to get it. I promise you. Please let's like around one another, and I pray that God blesses us all. Thank you, West Africa Weekly. Good night.
Thank you
Good
so
night,
much.
Wanderlust.
Thank you. Good friend, go ahead, please.
No, go ahead. I just wanted to say thank you to Wanderlust. That was all.
Okay.
We can
Okay.
bring up the next speaker.
The next speaker is Andofa. If I could say your name, Sefa Andofa. Can you hear me? You have the
I'm not.
floor.
I'm not sure he can hear you.
Hello. Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah. Uh, this is my first time on this space, I think, and of course, I like it. As I'm speaking to you, my heart is truly bitter. I don't really know what to say. Of course, I'm from Middle Belt, particularly from Benue State. I've seen what these terrorists have done. Unfortunately, for the past 8 years, that unfortunate mannequin, Daura Buhari, legalized these extremists and gave them whatever they want. If I'm not mistaken, he went to Egypt and said Fulanis are free to come to Nigeria and stay, that Nigeria is their land. Well, like we did in Benue State in 1804, our ancestors rejected these people. We rejected them. The white man was planning to plant an emir in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Until people came from everywhere and said, no, this is not permitted. We don't want this. And we rejected them in 1804. I think if we were to be a conquered people, it would have been them, not now. This is one of our offense in Nigeria, that we did not accept Islam. I always say that if we all know what the Fulani Janja wheat have for us in the store, we won't be messing up this way. Because what the Janja wheat have for us in the store is that maybe when they are done with us, we will be nowhere to be found, our lands, properties, and everything. They have a simple agenda. Their agenda is to go there and conquer. They say they are going to take the Quran from the north down to Atlantic Ocean. They said it. And they hate seeing people together. This is why Facebook is busy blocking people, Instagram and the rest. If you say the truth, they block you. We know they are busy paying billions of dollars to people, to those media platforms, not to publish the truth. But we know the Fulani Janja with just have one mission. Mission is to conquer. What Usman Danfodio failed to do, they are on that mission. But what I'm happy about is they will continue failing. Like we did in Benue State, Otom did. In the past 8 years, Otom did not give, our former governor did not give them the free passage. That was one of his crimes. And I keep wondering, you cannot force what you say is peaceful on people. They don't force things on people. Likewise, if a Christian preached to you and you did not agree with him, you walk away simple. They don't force things on people. You can't force things on people. But the reverse is the case here with Fulani Janja with. We are only looking, the earlier we learn to be who we are, the better it will be for us. Like one comedian in River State said. So, this Janja will understand one language. That is the language of violence. Give it to them back as they give it to you. They don't take it easy with these people. These people, what they have in store for us, if care is not taken. Anyway, Nigeria is not a real place, we know. It is not meant to be together. The white man came and created this jungle for his youth gains and not for the benefit of the people. If we did not break Nigeria now, Nigeria is going to end us. Now, who is going to cause that? The Fulani Janja with. Look at how they came. They came and conquered the Hausa people. Look at how the formation of the Hausas today. How many people did you see in Hausa land being governors in their own state? I think no. Those emirs you see in the north, they are all Fulani people. They came and conquered those people. In Plateau State today, like Kanyango, I don't know her name, said. If you go to the map, I went to the map today and see that they are already renaming those people. Criminals that came to Plateau State less than a decade ago are telling the indigenous people what to do. They say they came there and meet them on the mountains doing this. Thank God you say you came and meet them. They did not invite you. You came there with the hope of grabbing and stealing from them. And these people are serial liars. I hate liars. Say things as the things are. They won't. I mean, the Fulani Janja would have two groups. The gaslighters on social media and their foot soldiers. Their foot soldiers will go out and do the dirty job, and their gaslighters will be on the internet, gaslighting and lying. The Fulani Janjaweed have one mission. The mission is to conquer, turn everybody to Islam. That is their mission. And anybody telling us to keep quiet, look at the military. The military is compromised. Because there is no way you will not tell me that the Nigerian military is not compromised. I'm ready to say it everywhere. Because anytime you see killings going on,
Please round up. Please round up.
the
Please.
military will go there and provide cover for the Janjaweed. So what I'm trying to say now is there is nothing we have to do in store rather than face these terrorists, because their brother failed to proscribe them as terrorists. Rather, the Manikim went and proscribed people agitating for their freedom as terrorists. We know. So what we have to do now is, especially with the middle betters, we have to rise up for our freedom. We are not northerners. We don't know them. These people are settlers. They can't take what belongs to us. We have to give them what they give to us. This is the only language the Janjaweed understand. There's no two ways about it. So we don't have to keep quiet and look for the establishment is not for us. We don't have governors. This is why this Janjaweed will always come and impose leaders on us. People we did not choose. Look in Nasarawa State. They rejected that criminal. He forced himself. That is what the Janjaweed will do. They will come to you and say, you want to be the president. You
And
want to be the vice president.
thank you. Thank
Give
you
us
so
land.
much.
So,
Thank you.
my dear brothers and sisters, we don't have to keep quiet and look out. We have to look out for ourselves. We have to give the Janjaweed what they give to us. Simple. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please, just a reminder. This space ends by 11, and also you're responsible for everything you say here because the space is being recorded, and yeah. So our next speaker, you have just 2 minutes. Melu Manji. Yes, if I'm correct, please, you have the floor. Thank you.
Melomanji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Please go on.
Okay. I stand on the existing protocol, and then my heart is heavy about all these things that are happening. Notwithstanding, we have to talk about these things. So I would love that there are Muslims in this group, and then they have something to say, and they have something to back all this nonsense that is happening, because it's very outrageous. Most of our Muslim friends, we have Muslim friends, we are Plateau people, and then we have people that are Muslims that we are friends with, and then it's expected that they come out and speak out against all these things that are happening, but we don't see them doing these things, and it's very worrisome. I don't know how to quantify this bullshit, because I try not to be so abusive when I talk to my Muslim friends, but I don't even know how to address them. It's crazy, man. But I feel we are Muslims and we are Christians in Plateau. So why are we killing ourselves? What is the viciousness for? Why why it's crazy, man, because hmm, I'm finding words to express my grievance, but crazy. Well, I feel at a long run we'll just have to um, part ways, which is almost impossible without killing ourselves. And then if we have to kill ourselves, then what use is that? And then I'm speaking because I am close to the government. And then if I'm close to the government, and what would you want? What would you even ask the government to do in this point now? At this point, what would you say Barrister Caleb Mutfwang, HE, Barrister Caleb Mutfwang should do at this point? If we cannot be together, if we cannot help ourselves, then what would Mutfwang do for us? So I feel we should just we should dead the whole viciousness and try and see that we live together. If we can't, then everybody should face his front, because omo we go it's going to be bloody. It's going to be bloody if we say we want to hi, the whole situation is just crazy, man. And if we want to follow it in this manner, kai, omo, it's crazy, man. Kai.
All right. Thank you very much, Manji, for your comments. I think you want to be politically correct in your opinion, but I totally agree with you. It is yours. It is your opinion. But I want to point out very clearly that Plateau State is not a mixed state. I am also from Plateau State. Plateau State is if not 80% Christian. So we don't say it is we are in Plateau State they are Muslim and Christians. No, it is not that. It is a Plateau. It is a Christian state. So I understand that Mangu, the case in Mangu is peculiar because in the Plateau, Mangu is one of the local governments that has the highest indigenous mixed religion, but that is not, we don't use that to measure as the entirety of Plateau State. So please, I just want to put that there to say when you say Plateau is a Muslim, is we have Muslims, we have Christians. I'm not saying again that we do not have Muslims on the Plateau at all. We do. We have Muslim friends, but Plateau State again is a Christian state. Who do we have next to speak? Bolanle, I see your hand. I'll get to you. I'll get back to you, please. Comrade, can you go if you're close by? Comrade. Comrade, are you close by? Okay, Bolanle, you can go on, please.
I came back up again simply because the last speaker used particular terms and ways of describing the issue, or while throwing his hands up in despair, so to say. Who is killing ourselves? Let us be very clear. Those that have been killing middle beltons, right? Killing ourselves. We know who. This thing frustrates me. And yes, there's one thing to express an opinion, right? There's another thing. Something is factual and something is, opinion driven, right? What is factual is the Christian community are being killed by the Fulani jihadists. You saying, "Oh, why are we killing ourselves?" is you being disingenuous, right? And we need to reject those kind of ways of expressing or describing what is happening, because what you are simply doing is you are denying the pain of the victims. Because anybody who doesn't know what has been going on will come into this space or will listen to it later on and we'll hear killing ourselves. Oh, it's a conflict. They are fighting, two fighting. No. One set of people have decided to go in and massacre another set of people, not once, not twice, but continuously for decades and decades. So let us be very idea of being politically correct when people have died, right? It infuriates me, it really annoys me, right? So please stop it already. The people have told you who is killing them, and you are coming here to say killing ourselves. Who is the killing? Who are killing themselves?
Thank you,
Nah, let us
Bolanle.
stop that. Thank you. Sorry, that was all I came up to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Bolanle, for that, because we really honestly need to put that there. Put the right narrative. It is fine if you want to be politically correct. It is fine. We understand that you are trying to safeguard your pocket or something, but please, no. This is poking our sensitivity. Um, um, Again, the space will be rounding up soon, so please, would I crave your indulgence that you please make your comments short as possible. Go straight to the point. Thank you. Hannah, to please go. Okay, sorry, comrade, can you please go on, please? 2 minutes. I'll cut you off if you go beyond that. Thank you. Quickly.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, I first of all I want to commend the organizers of this space and also everybody who has spoken. For me, it's an enlightening process to make me get more information about what is actually happening in Mangu, Plateau State. But again, I must also say that my heart bleeds because the way people are being killed, especially for the children and women, and also those who have lost their life and means of livelihood, it is so disheartening. But I think what I just want to add to this conversation is that while we all know that Nigeria is a failed state in terms of the primary responsibility of government to protect lives and property, I want more deeper analysis because I find it difficult to conclude and agree totally that this particular issue is an issue of religion, because I look at it more from the economic perspective that most people, especially the ruling elite of this country, and specifically also in Plateau, most of them are gaining from this road. Historically, I know that Plateau is blessed with a lot of mineral resources. And from what I have done in terms of research, even looking at some, report where a lady was saying that most of all this killing are as a result of some hidden natural resources that are being mined in some various parts of the country that even most of the residents there they don't know. Because if we continue to say yes, I'm not saying totally they are not religious correlation or ethnic correlation
Round
because
up.
of this crisis, but
Round
I
up,
feel
please.
that
Round up.
most of our ruling elite in this country, they continue to make profit at the expense of the life of Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you. Hannah, to please.
Thank you very much, and greetings to everyone. I just